Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for another sponsored interview. I have DaeX or DaeX on the show today. Excellent project. I really think these types of projects where the companies are building the infrastructure above the blockchain to really connect and make the things happen behind the scenes is where we'll see the true value in blockchain technology. And so for today, ladies and gentlemen, I have Ben Gu, chairman of DaeX Foundation. Ben, how are you today?
Very good.
Good.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, same here. I'm excited about your project. So guys, the DaeX, their goal is to provide a better infrastructure for the cryptocurrency trading industry by taking the reasonable parts of the mainstream securities trading industry and taking advantage of that with new opportunities brought by distributed ledger technology. Specifically, trading and clearing will be separated in two different entities. So tell us a little bit before we jump into the meat and potatoes about DaeX. Tell us a bit about yourself, Ben.
Okay. Well, I did my undergraduate study in China as a physics major, and then in graduate school I went to U.S. to pursue my further study.
Mm-hmm.
I got my MBA from UT Austin in 1997. At the time, it was the internet boom, and I really got interested in combining technology and business. Mm-hmm. So I got into consulting and software development and management. I later joined a supply chain software company called i2 Technologies, and then I went to work for Options Clearing Corporation, which cleared all options traded in the U.S. market. After that, I worked there for 5 years in development field, and then I went to work for a Chinese securities brokerage in China in 2008. So I worked in the Chinese securities industry for many years. In the first quarter of 2016, I first got to learn about blockchain technology. Immediately, I realized it is going to be so powerful that it's going to change many aspects of our current life. So I jumped in completely. Since then, I have been exploring ways to apply this in different fields. And then in the first quarter of 2017, last year, I found that cryptocurrency trading was so strong at the time, and more people got involved in this, and more trading exchanges appeared. But there were some inherent problems with the cryptocurrency trading market, and I realized that by applying distributed ledger technology, I can improve the market structure and make it more compliant, more stable, more secure for everybody involved. So I started to apply this. I tried to make this work. Mm-hmm. And then in I think the last quarter of last year, I put together a team and started working on this project. Basically, that's how I got into this project.
Nice. So I know firsthand the pitfalls that we have with exchanges being centralized. I remember the Mt. Gox incident and how that deeply affected mm-hmm. many people around the world. And we've seen it happen numerous of times since then. CoinCheck, I mean, the list can go on and on. Binance. So explain to us how the DaeX plugs into this as an equation, and how you help solve some of these security vulnerabilities that we see in the industry right now.
Okay. Well, the cryptocurrency trading market is so different from the regulated securities market. Cryptocurrency exchange nowadays it shoulders many roles played by different entities in a regulated market, say cryptocurrency exchange plays roles of an investment bank,
Mm-hmm.
a trading place, a securities brokerage, a clearinghouse, and also an asset custodian.
Mm-hmm.
So it combines all these roles together in one entity. So that is makes it very vulnerable to all kinds of problems. One basic problem is the combination of trading and clearing and asset custodian. Um, Currently, an exchange receives digital assets or digital currencies from traders and put them all in one place, and it manages this asset. So as the exchange gets bigger and bigger, it can the asset it manages gets larger and larger.
Right.
So that's why if one incident happens, a huge sum of assets can be involved. Like in the most recent case of CoinCheck,
Right.
$500 million worth of digital cryptocurrency got stolen. So
Mm-hmm.
their amount is huge. The problem causing that is that it's a clearing and the trading and the clearing are combined in one place.
Right.
In a regulated securities market, these roles are played by different entities. For example, in the U.S. equities options trading market, there are in 2008, before 2008, there were five options exchanges, and they own one clearinghouse together. That clearinghouse was was OCC, Options Clearing Corporation. That was the company I used to work for, and the trading and clearing are thus separated. And the clearinghouse plays the CCP role. It maintains the stability of the options market. So our exchanges just focus on trading, and clearinghouse focus on clearing, and it maintains the overall market risk. It does not maintain the monitors and super make sure that the market stabilizes. So one clearinghouse supports multiple exchanges. That's how regulated market works. But in the current cryptocurrency industry, this is not the situation. Every exchange maintains its own trading and clearing and asset management. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we are trying to resolve. So basically, we are going to model after the market structure of a regulated securities market. We are going to provide a clearing solution and serve cryptocurrency exchanges. That's what we are going to do. Plus, we are going to use distributed ledger technology to do the clearing work. So in the application of distributed ledger technology, it is a consensus. Everyone agrees that in the securities industry, the most direct application of DLT is in post-trade clearing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's everybody agreed that, but it involves so many things. It's really big and risky endeavor. So Australian Stock Exchange first took this step and decided to move their clearing system to one based on DLT, and they made that decision last December. So they are the first one to do so. Canadian Securities Exchange is also applying DLT for a new clearinghouse. And we also learned recently that Hong Kong Stock Exchange or Hong Kong Securities Exchange is evaluating DLT in their new clearing system. So this using DLT in post-trade clearing is the trend, and we are going to do that for the cryptocurrency industry.
Gotcha. So I do remember, I'm sure you remember as well, when Knight Capital went down from issues they had with clearing. So are you going to be able to mitigate issues like what we had with Knight Capital? Is your technology going to be able to handle those glitches that may happen and cause many problems within the infrastructure? Because you'll now be the central point, right? for a lot of these
We are
exchanges?
not going to be a central point. It is going to be a distributed solution.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very similar to Bitcoin blockchain technology.
Mm-hmm.
It uses distributed blockchain technology to support the management of assets, trading on the chain.
Mm-hmm.
So and it has never been attacked or hacked since its inception.
Mm-hmm.
So what we are going to do is pretty similar to blockchain to Bitcoin and its underlying supporting technology.
So are
So
you guys creating your own blockchain? Is this a proprietary blockchain that you're developing?
actually, we are very open-minded in choosing technology. Right now, we are not going. I don't think we are going to start to build a brand new distributed ledger technology from ground zero. We are
Right.
going to evaluate the current infrastructures. There are some good ones that are originated in China. We are developing big cooperation with them. We are going to evaluate the one on the market, and then we are going to build clearing solutions on top of that. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty similar to the Java world. There's the open framework called Spring, and people
Mm-hmm.
develop all kinds of applications on top of Spring. That's the
Right.
strategy we are going to use here.
Nice.
And
Nice.
Spring is open source,
Yes.
by the way. And we are going to select an open source underlying technology.
So for some of my viewers who may be not as technical, can you explain how are you different than a decentralized? Because we talked about how you would be able to actually help and improve technology and security for a centralized exchange. How would you be, or kind of explain to us how you're different than an actual decentralized exchange, say something like Ether Delta or Fork Delta, or are you able to even help them?
I think that's a good question. I think many people are confused on the difference between a distributed exchange and a distributed clearing.
Mm-hmm.
With a distributed exchange, it's a one-to-one trading and
Right.
clearing. Uh, the nice thing is that each party holds its own asset, and the technology guarantees the transaction goes through and assets are transferred properly. Um, so in this sense, it's a very good. Many retail people like to use that. But the problem with the distributed trading is that the we cannot have a large trading pool in one place.
Mm-hmm.
The trading amount is that small. You cannot have it's very inconvenient if you have a large trading capital and you want to uh, sending a big order, and it's really hard to get fulfilled. To meet your expectations. So a centralized exchange is much better efficient than distributed exchange in matching orders, in providing liquidity. So, and this is the difference is determined by how these two worked. From the very basic structure. So, distributed exchange has been around for a long time, but and it has been used by people to trade digital assets, but it has never reached the same level as the centralized exchanges. So,
Excellent. Okay.
distributed exchange is going to exist, but it's much better used in trading non-standard financial instruments, like a customized contract between two institutions. But it's not good to trade the standardized financial products like stocks and bonds. So centralized exchange is going to continue. It's going to has its own advantages,
Mm-hmm.
and we are using distributed clearing to support centralized exchanges. So in this way, we get the better part of centralized trading and distributed clearing.
Okay,
So we
excellent.
get the
That makes,
liquidity,
yeah,
efficiency.
I really want to point that out and make that clear to the audience that you are not just another decentralized exchange, and that you explain that very well. So we appreciate you doing that, because many people will think, decentralized, exchange just means that you're just going to be another decentralized exchange. So good to hear the difference there. So we also have Lois, who is the marketing brand and branding ambassador for DaeX. How are you, Lois?
Yes, hi.
Good. So kind of explain your role within the company, and what your endeavors are for DaeX, and what more specifically, what demographic are you guys targeting? Are you looking to stay in Asia or US? Kind of explain, because I know you guys have some partners currently, and just kind of go into detail about that.
Well, actually, this is a global market for cryptocurrencies, so
Mm-hmm.
we don't have the limit for countries. And you can see that there are more than 10,000 followers in our Twitter and 13,000 users in our Telegram English group. And
Wow.
also we have community in Korea, Japan, and of course China. This is
Mm-hmm.
the largest market so far. So we don't have the limitation for graphics actually, or geographic.
Oh, great, great, great. So, what is your initial rollout plan as far as marketing to which country first?
Well, our first target goal is to get the software out in June or July, and then we are going to test it with some exchange partners. That's our first goal.
Right. So I see here we have the roadmap on the screen now,
Mm-hmm.
Ben, and it shows Q2 of this year. You're looking to publish a technical white paper. Is that still?
Yes, yes, of
That's
course.
true.
Hmm. And then we have also Q4 of this year beta release and start testing. So let's talk a little bit about your beta release, and what exactly are you looking to bring to the marketplace with the beta.
For the beta release, we are going to provide clearing support service for ERC20 type of tokens
Hmm.
and Bitcoin. And for spot trading, that's our goal for the end of this year, the beta release time. And we'll have several network partner exchanges to be online with our clearing service.
Okay, so I'm going to show on the screen right now as well the graphic that kind of shows the ecosystem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I love this graphic. It's very visual. I think it makes it very plain and simple how the DaeX foundation will be a layer in between the digital assets and the actual exchanges. So that's great. Do you want to kind of talk about that a little bit?
Basically, we are going to be the underlying service for cryptocurrency exchanges. We are going to provide the services, asset custodian services, and also we are going to provide a clearing service for exchanges. For financial products, we are going to first start with supporting token trading, and then for our next phase, we are going to support derivatives based on cryptocurrencies. That's that's how it is going to be like.
Oh, that's going to be huge, because I can only imagine that the derivatives market will be substantially larger market than the spot, right?
That's right. That's how we see it, and that's where we see the market opportunities. I think, well, not I think it's going to be the trend that spot trading is going to be so widespread,
Mm-hmm.
and the most So the margin is going to be very, very small. So, but derivative trading and clearing is going to be a viable business for people, for organization or institution get involved. So that's where we are going to focus on resources now.
Oh man, that is exciting news. I'm actually a trader myself. I used to prop trade about 10 years ago in the FX market. So I definitely see, and those watching who understand that will definitely see the huge opportunity for your company to really take a lot of market share. What are your goals for? I know back to the actual roadmap. You guys are looking to release 1.0 version of the program or the platform in second quarter of 2019. What are your goals for 2019 and going into 2020 as far as market penetration?
In China, we have a saying that one day in the cryptocurrency world is like a 1 year in the real world.
Yes, that's very true. Very true.
So basically, the market changes so fast. With technology, with regulation in different countries, and with competition, of course, and the market changes so fast. We can only focus on near-term goals. So our top priority right now is to get our software out, and then get people, basically exchanges, to work with us. And if we achieve that goal, and that will lay a solid foundation for our future plan. With this foundation, we can work on other things. That's our near-term goal, and that's what we're going to achieve first. And then by that time, we'll see where the market is and what the regulations are, and then decide what we are going to do next.
Yeah, that's probably a smart way to go about it, because we're so early in this cryptocurrency industry. You mentioned the operative word there was regulation. So I guess kind of taking your time with the regulation portion of it and seeing how that pans out probably would be a smart move. Yeah. What about your sponsors or your actual exchange partners, I should say? One of which I'm very familiar with, Bitstamp. So tell us a little bit about your partner exchange, your exchange partner.
The core team members in our team also was involved in cryptocurrency exchange business before. So we are very familiar with people in this business. So people who operate exchanges, people who are going to have ICO projects, and basically every function, people in all functions, and exchanges. We have a good relationship with many exchanges. These are the few we have listed here, and we are going to work with them in sequence.
Yeah, because I see here ACX, Allcoin, Star.io, BCEX, Coin coming, and Bitstamp. And I see you guys say you've got more coming as well.
Yes, actually, many of these exchanges, they are members of our exchange league called IDEL, International Digital Economy League. This is a league for cryptocurrency exchanges. So we have really close relationship with this league. DaeX is also the main founder of this league. So you can see most of these exchanges logos. For example, ACEX or Coin Egg and the BCEX. These are also the member of this league.
Okay, understood.
Yes, we will have maybe strategic cooperation with these exchanges. For example, sorry, I can't disclose too many details.
Sure, no problem.
Actually, in April or in May, you will see our cooperation news.
Oh,
yes.
Excellent. So that's good to know. Mr. Gu, why did you guys decide to have this be a foundation. What's the strategy behind that?
It's not different from Ethereum, how Ethereum works.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You know, the other thing that caught my eye and I thought was very interesting was that you guys did not have an ICO, and I really liked that you didn't go that route. You guys kind of did an airdrop. Explain kind of why you did an airdrop, what the tokens will be used for. Just kind of give the audience a little bit of background regarding that strategy.
I think that's a great question. I'm from a regulated securities market industry in China and the US. I know how important compliance is.
Yeah.
So we are going to do our business to be compliant with the regulations in different places. So that's why we didn't do an ICO, because it's really debatable right now. So it is not a good time to be caught in that. And so what we did was just an airdrop. On the other hand, we firmly believe that the crypto economy is going to appear. This business mode is going to be it's going to be a very powerful tool in helping businesses to raise money and get all kinds of people involved, all stakeholders involved in a joint venture. So we firmly believe that. So that's where we use our tokens to support the build-up of our ecosystem. Basically, the clearing, trading, the different entities all composing this ecosystem. So we are going to use tokens to help the growth of this ecosystem. So all entities involved will benefit from the growth of this ecosystem. Entities like traders, exchanges, and also clearing solution providers. So that's what we are going to do. So it's really important to have a token. We want to try this new, I'm sure it's revolutionary way of supporting the growth of ecosystem.
Yeah, because it's funny because I just did an article or a video regarding ICOs and the change in the industry going away from ICOs to the airdrop solution. So that was very neat, and I think that's very forward thinking for you and the team to take that route. And that really, to me, shows that you do have that regulatory foresight because you have the background in that to do that instead of an ICO. So that's pretty great. Tell me about are the tokens available to trade right now, or are they kind of being frozen for the moment? What's the status with that?
They are going to be listed on the secondary market in the near future, probably April.
Okay.
There's one question I got asked a lot by people. Basically, the question is, if you are going to provide this clearing service for exchanges, those big established exchanges to use your service? That's a question I often got asked. My answer to that is there are two things. Well, first of all, we are not going to start working with all these big exchanges directly. Our initial target customer would be exchanges, small and medium-sized exchanges, and also companies who want to start an exchange business. So we work with them directly and then provide clearing service. For those exchanges, they want to be differentiated. They want to have their own competitive advantage. So they cannot do exactly the same thing as big exchanges like DaeX and Huobi do. So they have to differentiate themselves. One way to also, the most valuable part of operating an exchange is to get trading products and also get enough people to trade on the exchange. All the detailed technical work is not that valuable to the business. like clearing, like security, like technical support, like operation. All these things are really cost. They cost for exchange. So we are going to provide a clearing service. We are going to provide a wallet for them, and we are going to provide all this nitty-gritty part of the infrastructure. So exchange operators will be relieved from these things and focus on the most valuable part to them, that is trading. So a small and medium-sized exchange would like to work with us. So after we start with them, and people begin to see the value of this market structure, basically the separation of trading and clearing, we are going to attract more exchanges working with us. So that's how the market runs. And this is going to be trend naturally. And also the second most important factor is regulations will definitely be most stringent on the cryptocurrency market. One requirement would be, just like a regulated security market, the separation of trading and clearing. If a regulation requires a current exchange to separate its clearing out to a third party, then a current exchange would have no choice but to follow this, meet this requirement. So we'll be the candidate to provide this service to them. So this is going to working with exchanges. It's going to be a sequence. We first start with small and medium ones, and then gradually we believe that we can provide our service to all cryptocurrency exchanges. So that's our view what is going to happen.
Excellent. No, that makes sense, and I agree with you. I really do. I really see a huge opportunity for you guys here. Again, guys, DaeX.io. Check them out. You will be hearing from them in the future. I promise you. I think this is a necessary part of exchanges that I think we're missing right now in this industry. So I'm very excited to see Ben Gu and Lois and the team over at DaeX really roll out their product and project platform, and I'm excited. So I appreciate both of you guys for joining me. Again, I have that diagram or graphic that kind of illustrates where DaeX sits within the whole ecosystem. And again, that is where the bread and butter is. Many of you guys out there watching know that many of you who may be Cliff High followers or have purchased his reports in the past, he talked about the difference between the railway and the actual train, or the infrastructure and the actual train that moves on that railway system, and I would say for sure that DaeX is infrastructure. So he talks about this type of technology being very, very big and very successful in the coming years. So yeah, that's great. You guys are definitely in the right space within the cryptocurrency community and industry. So again,
thanks, Jared.
Yeah, again, thank you guys for coming on and explaining this to the viewers. And again, guys, go ahead and go over to DaeX.io and check out more information about this company. They're going to have a great year in 2018. I surely believe it. Again, that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining.